Liam knew his plan would take a while to work out. He was a man of patient ambition, quiet, methodical, and unfailingly hopeful. Where others chased luck, Liam believed in progress, step by step, line by line, frame by frame. It began in the front passenger seat of his old Honda Civic. The dashboard was cluttered with receipts and children's toys. His phone, balanced against the windscreen with an old leather wallet, blinked red as the recording light came on. He cleared his throat, adjusted his glasses, and began. Everything you need to know about cryptocurrencies. He stumbled through his 7 bullet points, handwritten on a creased scrap of paper wedged into the glove compartment. He repeated himself, mispronounced words, coughed midway. He even swore softly when his phone slipped sideways and crashed into the cup holder. It was hardly the polished start of a digital empire, but Liam didn't care. He knew Rome wasn't built, or streamed, overnight. Anyway, how many podcasters were there in Situ, Edmonton? Back home in their apartment on 28th Avenue Northwest, Taylor was putting baby Mia to bed, while Liam edited the footage on his desktop. He trimmed out the coughs and added asterisk text to cover his verbal errors. His video had no transitions, no title music, no polish, just him, talking about crypto. He clicked upload, then he waited. No one came. It wasn't the first time Liam's life had taken an unexpected turn. 18 months earlier, Taylor had walked into the kitchen. She was holding a pregnancy test kit. Tears of laughter were streaming down her face. Liam read the word pregnant. He was stunned, but thrilled. Now, 9-month-old Mia crawled under his desk as he wrote code for clients. He used C++ to create small indie games and to enhance customers' databases. Mia tugged at his jeans and giggled when he peeked around the side of his monitor. He'd trade 1 million subscribers for that smile. That day, after he uploaded his first podcast, he was deeply disappointed. He refreshed his YouTube analytics page over and over, but there was never any change. 0 views. The first flicker of recognition came weeks later. He made another video, this time on Dogecoin. He spoke about open source code, C++, and market movements. He had even bought a $19 clip-on microphone and used blue tack to hold his phone steady on the Civic's dashboard. 2 people watched his post. One clicked thumbs up, the other thumbs down. There were 2 comments. The first was unnerving. Interesting stuff, but anyone can guess where you live. Check out the view from the back window of your car. See the street sign? The second was mocking. You missed the joke. Dogecoin was made as a meme. Liam deleted the video for 2 reasons. First, he was embarrassed. And second, he would never risk his family's anonymity. But that night, with Mia asleep and Taylor reading in bed beside him, Liam began his next script. Why Dogecoin was really created. After he uploaded it, 15 people watched. Some even left thoughtful comments. One said, "Why don't you tell the story about the millions stolen from the Dogecoin wallet?" For the first time, Liam felt a pulse of hope. Gradual progress. He could live with that. Liam wasn't making any money from his YouTube work, but his coding job and Taylor's work at a local elementary school meant that they could now afford to rent a bungalow. As the seasons rolled by, Liam's viewer numbers crept from tens to hundreds, then they passed 1,000. He expanded and redirected the themes of his talks based on viewer numbers and comments. Now, he focused more on the financial background and markets of those cryptos that he and his viewers were interested in. Liam studied candle charts, learned about Fibonacci retracements, and lines of support and resistance. His soft-spoken but simple explanations and his ironic wit won him loyal followers. Many traded crypto by day and listened to Liam by night. He soon realized that he had to make an announcement during each of his podcasts. At first, he felt a little embarrassed when, in the middle of his talk, he said, "Remember, this is not financial advice." His video on stellar lumens hit 2,815 views, a personal triumph. Now, at the end of each video, he said, with growing confidence, "Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel." With every video, a few people actually did both. But success, like crypto itself, is volatile. One cold afternoon, while filming in his car outside Situ Park, an SUV pulled up beside him. It had the familiar paintwork, the yellow and blue squares of the Edmonton Police Service. A tall officer with mirrored sunglasses eased himself out of the driver's seat. "Sir, we had a report of suspicious behavior. Mind telling me why you're parked here?" Liam tried to explain. He He was a podcaster. He had a YouTube channel. It was about cryptocurrency education. The officer eyed the battered Honda and frowned. Crypto, what? Did you say YouTube? 10 minutes later, the officer left, unconvinced, but believing he wouldn't see Liam randomly parking in the neighborhood again. The cop was right. Liam started the car and drove home, feeling like he had committed a crime. That night, he said to Taylor, "No more car videos." Liam wasn't bluffing. Over the next month, he transformed half of his back veranda into a small, insulated room, lined with timber, foam panels, and ambition. The local Rona store supplied everything he needed, other than ambition, which he already had. He made his studio demountable because his landlord would not give him permission to build anything permanent. It became his sanctuary. He set up a bright ring light directed at his face. A neat bookshelf and soft lights glowed on the wall behind him. He'd never been prouder. Liam watched other professional YouTubers. There were slick talkers, mad shouters, diabolical doomsayers, and financial geniuses like Jake Claver. Some were technical, some were fantasists. In time, Liam realized that his niche was simplicity and clarity. He offered a sensible tracking of crypto's gradual growth. And he could add a little spice. He was witty. Then, his focus sharpened. He followed Ripple and XRP exclusively. And sometimes he didn't follow. He led. At that time, he bought his first XRP. Just a few. But he knew it would not be his last. When the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission announced XRP was not a security, the crypto world exploded. The case that had loomed over Ripple for years appeared to have taken a turn for the better. Maybe the trouble was coming to a close. For Liam, the decision was validation. His specialization was clearly on the right track. Gradual progress rewarded. His subscriber count climbed past 20,000. But even patient people are not immune to doubt. Late one evening, after uploading a post titled, "Can Ripple break $10?" he noticed a viewer's comment. At XRP Front Seat 123 said, "Great analysis, but too narrow. You predict tiny price moves as though XRP is just a stock. You're missing the point. When banks and other financial institutions use it for liquidity, the price will explode. $10,000 XRP incoming. Brace yourself." He smiled at the absurdity, but the comment nagged at him. Would the price continue to rise gradually or explosively? That was the real question. He reported on Ripple as it continued to acquire companies, custody firms, brokerages, and stablecoin platforms. Liam tracked and discussed each one with increasing fascination. Mia grew older. She laughed, made jokes, asked endless strings of questions, and filled the house with craft projects, music, and mess. Then came the fever. Her 5-year booster shot triggered it, just as the doctor had warned. She burned hot and restless through the night, murmuring in half-dreams. Liam and Taylor took turns sitting by her bed. They had medicine and ice packs at the ready. By 4 a.m., Mia fell sound asleep. The fever had broken. Unfortunately, Liam didn't experience the same relief. He sat by the window, coffee in hand, watching the faint orange dawn stretch across the morning sky. What if he'd been wrong about XRP? What if its story wasn't about a gradual evolution, but about an explosive revolution? He imagined the price chart. Flat horizontal lines turning vertical overnight. Whales, banks, and hedge funds are flooding in, pricing out retail traders. Some called it a rocket to the moon. Maybe his channel would instantly become obsolete. His hard-earned expertise may become irrelevant. Gradual, he thought bitterly, was safe. But maybe safe was the new stupid. He bought another 2,000 XRP. The next morning, he began his riskiest podcast yet. He called it, "When XRP Goes Vertical." It was pure speculation. He made that point clear. He called it a scenario analysis. What if the world's payment systems suddenly shifted to Ripple's network overnight? What if cross-border liquidity required trillions of XRP? What if the XRP derivatives market took off? After he uploaded the podcast, he didn't expect much. But by noon, the view count surged past 10,000. By evening, it was more than 100,000. The comments section exploded. Some hailed him as a prophet, others mocked him as a fool. By week's end, he'd gained 20,000 new subscribers. The irony wasn't lost on him. His slow, steady climb had been dwarfed by one sudden leap, but it was the email from Ripple that truly changed everything for Liam. After the heading subject was the word invitation. The conference was called Ripple Swell. It was to be held in New York City and was designed to engage with, among others, crypto thought leaders and media players. Liam could hardly believe it. Had his YouTube handle, Liam Talks Crypto News, caught the attention of the folks at Ripple itself? He had to write back explaining that his wife would be in Toronto with her mother at the time of the conference, and he would be looking after his daughter. So, he couldn't make it, but he thanked the sender very much. Liam consoled himself by watching YouTube videos of the Swell presentations and of interviews with attendees. During the conference, exciting news was released about Ripple's growing partnerships in Southeast Asia and the Middle East, and about its work on pilot testing XRP with European central banks. He created a long list of ideas for future podcasts, and he posted updates about the conference for his subscribers. His theme of gradual growth was no more. His podcast was back on track. He was honest with his viewers. He told them he had bought even more XRP, a lot more, and he intended to continue buying. The change took a year or so longer than anyone expected, but then it happened. A sudden, dramatic spike. Was it the rocket to the moon? XRP's price leapt from $3.90 to $52.10 in a single trading day. Crypto exchanges were in shock. X users posted hysterical comments. Mainstream media outlets tried desperately to avoid the story they had deliberately missed for years. Liam sat in his demountable studio, staring at the XRP chart in disbelief. His phone buzzed nonstop. He received text messages inviting him to be part of interview panels and expert advisory boards. For a time, he ignored them all. He wasn't ready. He wasn't even sure he wanted to be part of this. Liam turned on the circle light, looked directly at the camera lens and said, "This is it. We've been patient. We've been gradual. But sometimes, history jumps in quantum leaps." It became his most watched video, 2.8 million views in 48 hours. But by then, the price of XRP had hit $5,000, and it was still rising fast. The money followed too. Advertising revenue, sponsorships, and consulting requests from media outlets. By the end of the year, Liam earned more from his channel than from his coding job. He quit the latter with a trembling mix of pride and fear. He should have been happy, but something was not quite right. The comments on his posts were darker. XRP isn't done. It's going to break $10,000. The government's manipulating it. Wake up, Liam. You're part of the cover-up. He tried to ignore the haters. One night, while reviewing his latest upload, he noticed something chilling in the comments. At XRP Front Seat 123 wrote, "Told you, didn't I? Gradual is for amateurs. The sudden always wins. Enjoy your fame while you can. Retail is about to be badly shaken out. Your channel may end." When he saw the user's handle, Liam felt a shiver pass through his body. He remembered it from 2 years before. He clicked on the profile. It was gone. Deleted. A week later, Ripple made another announcement, one that would shake the markets again. It had secured a partnership with the Bank of International Settlements. Now, a worldwide network of central banks would use XRP for instantaneous cross-border settlements. Ripple was now the backbone of global finance. XRP jumped to $9,700 in the following days. Crypto media called it the flippening. Fortunes were made by the hour, but they were lost by those who sold too early. Liam's number of subscribers skyrocketed past 1 million. His videos were cited by CNBC, Bloomberg, and The Economist. Reluctantly, he had become one of the famous independent faces of the XRP revolution. And then, just as suddenly, the collapse came. A coordinated cyber attack hit multiple exchanges. Wallets froze, governments panicked. The XRP price plummeted 28%. Billions in value vanished. Liam's inbox flooded with fury. Viewers accused him of misleading them, of knowing something he hadn't shared, of being part of a grand manipulation. His sponsors ghosted into silence. He spent nights staring at his computer screen in his darkened studio. The lights shining on the wall behind him now seemed to be mocking him. The market had moved on. So had the world. Liam seemed to have been left behind. A month or so later, Liam sat in a quiet cafe on Jasper Avenue in downtown Edmonton, sipping coffee and scrolling through headlines on his phone. He'd hung on to his XRP through all the ups and downs. XRP was thriving again, and Ripple was amazing the financial world, steady, reliable, XRP was the vehicle for almost all global transactions. The analyst now said that the crash was just a correction, although an insanely wild one. Liam smiled faintly at the irony. Gradual had won after all. He was about to shut down his phone, but he suddenly had an impulse to check the comments section under his latest podcast. There was a new message from at XRP Front Seat 123. It read, "Expect XRP to reach $70,000. Enjoy that coffee." He looked up sharply. Through the coffee shop window, he could see an obsidian black Mercedes. It was a Maybach S-Class, tinted windows, engine idling, a thin fume rising from its exhaust pipe. Liam blinked. The vehicle slid away slowly and silently disappeared into a curtain of falling snow.